Welcome to the Offshore Club's fun-filled, fact-filled, fast-paced, blockbuster podcast, Coffee with Carib Carter, coming to you exclusively from where the sun never sets on the good life at a great price. And now, fill up your favorite coffee mug and join your expert and your guide, Carib Carter Clues.
Welcome to Coffee with Carib Carter, episode 14. I think that's 14 in Spanish. And it's wonderful to have you here. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for all your wonderful emails I get. Thanks for the comments when I post it, on the Carib Carter Facebook page. It's all coming together, and that's all because of you. So thank you very much. And I enjoy it. I enjoy every second of this show. I know a lot of you do too. So let's just, as we say, keep doing this thing. And that's what we're going to do today. And today's episode is very special, by the way. Very, very special, because we have not one, but two interviews. One with someone that I know you all love because she's been on before. And she also has her own podcast at offshoreclub.com every Tuesday at noon. Elisa Esquivel, the expat mom. Okay. And those who remember what she's on before, remember how absolutely delightful she is. I am thrilled to have her back again. We're going to interview her in just a little bit about a very special topic that is I'm telling you, a great opportunity for you. Okay. It's a great opportunity. It is a offshore move opportunity, an investment opportunity, everything that you want, in many ways, everything you need right now. Particularly if you're contemplating making the move to, as we say at Offshore.Club, the good life at a great price. You're going to love this interview with Lisa. Then we have a second interview, which is going to, I'm going to tell you, is going to touch your heart. Okay? It is going to touch your heart. I don't want to say a lot more than that because I don't want to, one up the interview when it comes. But this interview is going to touch your heart and give you a chance to make a real difference in the lives of little children that most of us long to be able to do. And now you're going to have the chance to do it once you see this interview. And I'll say this much, little Honduran children, precious as they can be, who need your help, who I know you want to help. And now when you see this interview, you're going to know how. And at the same time, you're going to treat yourself to a treat that brings it in full circle. You're going to be helping yourself while you help them. It's the best of both worlds. What's the old saying? You're going to be doing good while you're doing well. And so that interview is coming up. So two, not one, but two interviews. There we go. Later in the show that you are going to absolutely enjoy. And so we move quickly along to them. And, I always start out, and this relates to the second interview I told you about. I always start out with a day in the life, because people want to know all the time, what was it really like in Honduras? What is it really like in Honduras? Because I lived there a year. And I tell you about different things happen, some humorous, all of them real life incidents. But I'm going to tell you now about a moment in the life, okay? And as we go on, you're going to see how it relates. The moment in the life was 9 years ago. The moment in the life of my life in Honduras. And by the way, my wife and I are very close to settling on the home I've been telling you about. I'm going to tell you more a little later about that too. But the moment in the life was, I was leaving, coming back to visit the U.S. It's about 9 years ago when I had my home in El Pino that I've told you about. And at the airport, I paid my exit fee, which I think is a bizarre concept, but it was $35 or some such thing. And I looked over, and here was a little container to put money in the top. And on the front was a picture of a little child, little Honduran child, could not have been more than 5 years old, with a hair lip, still smiling through, but with a hair lip. And it was your chance to give some money, whatever you had, and you're leaving the country, so reach in your pocket and put the lempiras, the Honduran money, in there. You can't spend it in the U.S. And it just touched my heart, because I thought to myself, life is rough enough for anyone in a disadvantaged culture like Honduras. But imagine I looked at that picture of that little child bravely smiling through with that hair lip. There's a big scar here, And I thought to myself, God help that little girl. God help that little girl. And that was a moment. That was a moment in my life in Honduras that really was life changing, because I realized we're so blessed in this country. Even we talk about poverty, there's nothing like that. There's nothing. Imagine growing up in a country where you have no hope, you have no opportunity, you have nothing, and then you have this on top of it. You have this on top of it, and no way to get any help. Well, that moment was life-changing for me. It was life-changing for me. It really helped me in my commitment to help these people. And the interview later is going to help you help these people as well. But that moment in life, I think, is instructive for all of us, isn't it? That when you make the move offshore, and you know what, I hear from more of you all the time who are saying, I'm going to make the move offshore, Carter. I'm going to make that move for yourself to have a much better life. And when you do, you're going to be giving a much better life to particularly the children in Honduras, Nicaragua, whichever country you decide to move to. You are going to be, in many ways, a savior to these people, okay? Because whatever you have, it's a lot more than they have. You're going to have a chance to share it with them. And your spirit, your goodness, your heart is going to lift all those around you. So that's the moment in the life that I will guarantee you. I'm going to give you a guarantee right now. You're going to share that moment many times once you make your move. You're going to love life in the Caribbean. It really is the good life at a great price, but it also is going to allow you to do some wonderful things. Okay. So that's my not day in the life this time, but my moment in the life of what it's like to live south of the border in the Caribbean and Central America. Okay. So, once again, as we always say, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing for all the right reasons, yours and those around you down there. So that's a day in the life. And that's when you get to go somewhere and do some good. And it brings me to the Mad Max report. Every week we do this. I'm not going to stop it because you need to know it. There's reasons, not just good reasons to go there. There's good reasons. There's very good reasons that I'm sorry, but they're more important every day to leave here. This business with the taxes that are coming, I don't want you to get saddled with these taxes that are coming. I have never in 74 years, and remember, I was in Washington in politics for over 40 years. I have never seen a regime as determined to fleece the American people tax-wise as the Biden regime. I've never even heard of such a thing. Every day, this man stands up and his minions and talks about a new tax they're going to impose. We're coming with this tax now. And we find out that in the new budget he's submitting, $6 trillion budget, there is a massive new dispensation to, of all things, the IRS to come after you more. And let me get my paper here to show you exactly what I'm talking about here. So when I talk about these taxes, folks, this is not alarmism. This is realism, and it's a realism you don't want to have to face. Biden is sending in his new $6 trillion budget, by the way, which is $2 trillion more than the United States government will take in next year. Yeah, that's what I said. $2 trillion more than he knows the government's going to take in. And how's he going to make up for some of that? Coming after you. And one of the ways he's doing it is to give massive billions of dollars to the IRS. Number one, to start artificial intelligence to review every tax return, go through it and find how you didn't pay enough taxes. Okay. Yeah, with the artificial, they write the algorithm, folks. It's going to find something. You know, the Stalin's Beria, he was the head of their founder of the KGB, and he used to tell Stalin, "You find me the man, I'll find the crime." Well, you now are the man, and that artificial intelligence is going to be so fine-tuned, they're always going to find something where you didn't pay enough. And then you're going to get the knock at the door. And how do we know it's coming? Because he's also going to fund 10,000 new IRS agents to spread out across the country. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that lovely? You know, we've reached a point in this country, and I'm going to finish up the Mad Max report with this because it's not pleasant, I know. And we like good stuff with the, you know, with the Coffee with Carib Carter and the good life south of the border. But let me tell you something. We've reached a point in this country now where the government comes at you with the thumbs down, telling you what you can't do anymore. Don't you do that. If you don't believe it, think of anything you now can do in your life that either the federal, state, or local government doesn't regulate and very often rule against, or at least charge you an arm and a leg for it. And that's the second half. They come with the thumbs down. You can't do that without your license or your permit. And the palm up. The palm up. Let me get it up there. Yeah. And give us the money. And that's this new tax levying that Biden is doing. It's ruinous. Protect your assets and get them offshore. Get them off. Some pretty bad stuff was done to the American people that wasn't necessary. But don't wait till it's too late. Don't be missy. Okay, they're sissy. You know, make the move now. Protect your assets. Get them offshore. Get yourself offshore. Go live the good life at a great price. And now, enough of that. Now I'm going to tell you where. One of the places you can live the good life at a great price. And this one, folks, I know precisely because I'm going to tell you about, you know, I always tell you about Vivian. Remember, we're going to tell you about one of the places in Honduras with Alisa to tell you where you can live a good life at an incredibly good price, at a great price. But let me tell you about another one. And this one I know personally because today, I think today, we're going to settle on, my wife and I, on a beachfront home in Honduras outside of La Ceiba for, you ready for this? $32,000. Beachfront home. 2 bedrooms right on the beach. We walk out the beach and we walk out the door and we're on the beach. And the best part is there's a lot of other homes and property right where mine is going to be. If you go, you know, I always tell you, go to vivian.com. Go to vivian.com. Up in a little box in the upper right, type Honduras, or you don't have to type Honduras. Type this number, and it's going to take you straight to this listing. The number is 277-392. 277-392. It's going to take you to a listing in the community outside of La Ceiba, which is a lovely city in Honduras, where I'm buying this beautiful little beachfront home. Okay. Let me show you, before I tell you of the opportunities that are still there for you to buy and be my neighbor. Yeah, I'll be a little selfish. I want you to be my neighbor. Okay. Won't you be my neighbor? Thank you, Mr. Rogers. And I'm going to tell you about some of the deals you can get by going to that number, 277-392, in the upper little box at vivian.com. First, let me show you some of the pictures, okay? I just love this, okay? Now, I'm going to show you these pictures. You know, I know some of you have written to me and said, Carter, why don't you just let your super producer, Brian, bring up pictures rather than holding up pieces of paper? I don't know. I just love holding up a piece of paper. Here is the community I'm telling you about, okay? This is the community where I'm buying my wife and I are buying our $32,000 home at the beach, okay? One of my neighbor's homes. As a matter of fact, this home here is the new home of the guy that I'm buying my home from in this beautiful little community, gated community on the beach. And here, this is really show and tell, isn't it? I feel like I'm back in 3rd grade and I'm loving every second of it. Here is my home, the home my wife and I are buying. As I say, probably settling on today. Isn't that lovely? Can you believe that? Can you believe that? And when we walk out our side door, here's what's outside our door. the gazebo, the swimming pool, the clubhouse. Yeah, all this is included, folks. All this is included. Yeah. Here is the owner. I'm just throwing this in because I think it's fun. It's a picture of the owner of the community. Look at those fish. Look at those fish. Now, I know what some of you are saying right now. Wait a minute, Carter. Are you saying that you are buying a home that is lived in by Spicoli, Jeff Spicoli from High Times at Ridgemont High? Look at this, folks. Look. Uncanny. Actually, it's not him, but it looks exactly like him. This guy's name is Chris Barrett, the one with the fish, not the other one. That other one is Jeff Spicoli. And when you go to 277-392 to buy your home next to mine, okay, that's Jeff Spicoli. There I go. Can you believe that? Chris Barrett is who you're going to be buying from. As a matter of fact, here's his phone number if you want to talk to him more about it. 561-252-5176. 561-252-5176. And let me insert here, I don't get a penny for this. You buy from him, I do not get a commission. All I get is you, a good neighbor. So that is just win-win for everybody involved, okay? He has 32,000 beachfront lot. I'm just reading the list that you're going to see when you go to 277-392 at vivion.com. Type it in the little box in the upper right. He has also $15,000 bungalow lots, $50,000 direct oceanfront lots. It's incredible, folks. There's mine. He has it advertised, so I'm not going to read that to you because I'm already buying it. $179,000 for 2-story direct beachfront home with roof and a terrace, rooftop terrace. Okay, 3-bed, 3-bath, study, pool, and much more. That's right. I said $179,000 total. $120,000 total for a 2-story beach home, 3 beds, 2.5 baths, pool. It just goes right down the line here, folks. Right down the line, and just a gorgeous community, a gated community, groundskeepers, 24-hour security, 5 minutes from La Ceiba. Get in the cabin, you're 5 minutes from the city where you can go to the mall, you can enjoy yourself, go out to dinner. It's a great opportunity, folks. This is your, this is your $1,000 Realtor Caribbean section of Carib Coffee with Carib Carter. I was supposed to say that before I started all this, but we do this every week, so I know all of you know what part it was. This is an incredible deal. It's an incredible deal. Okay, and again, I'm very, very proud that, as you saw, beautiful little beachfront home that my wonderful wife has finished negotiating on now. Got lawyers down there, $1,000 for all the permits, everything done. Yeah, pretty good deal. I think the taxes are $100 a year or some such thing, property taxes. I paid more than that a month here, okay? And it ain't as good a life, I'll tell you that right now, in York, Pennsylvania. 5 blocks from me, you can't walk down the street. Here, you can walk on the beach because it's your beach, okay? That's a wonderful thing. That's your $1,000 Caribbean listing for the day. But even with that, I'm not done, because there's more to the $1,000 listing, and that's the interview that I promised you with Alyssa Esquivel, the expat mom. One of my favorite people, favorite people. And she is going to tell you in the interview that we're getting ready to do now about another wonderful property opportunity, ECI Development, who really is, we team up with the Offshore Club, okay? And Mike Cobb is essentially the owner, the president, CEO, and you see him every Friday when I interview him on the investment show, Open Mic. ECI Development is building a new residential community, beautiful, gorgeous residential community in Honduras, not far from where my wife and I are buying this home. And I asked Elisa to come in and talk to us about it, because this is another great deal for you. You know, when ECI builds something, it is gorgeous and it's perfect, and every detail is taken care of. These are energy efficient homes. And rather my blab on about it, let me welcome Alyssa to join us and tell you about it today. All right, now we have a very, very special section. I promised it to you at the beginning of the show, and I'm going to keep my word. I'm bringing back one of our former guests, somebody I know you love because you sent me emails about it, saying, bring back Elisa Esquivel. We love her. We love her better than you. And so if she comes on and makes the whole show look better, I am thrilled, because Elisa is one of my favorite people. She is a top executive with ECI Development. And there she is. All right, Elisa, welcome back. Welcome back. Alyssa, now some of you are saying, wait a minute, even though I didn't see her when she was on Coffee with Carib Carter before, and if you didn't, shame on you, but even though I didn't see her then, I see her every Tuesday on the Expat Mom, right? You are the Expat Mom.
I am.
And the show's very popular, and it's helping a lot of people out there with young children, helping make their decision to move to, as we always say, the good life at a great price in Central America. But today, she's not on just as the Expat Mom. She is on because she is helping put together a major, major move now into Honduras, which, as all of you know, is very near and dear to me, since I have two homes there. My wife is from there. And ECI Development is building a new development in Honduras, which, folks, you need to get in on now. Now, Elisa, first of all, where is this new development in Honduras?
Yeah, it's right outside of La Ceiba. It's a beautiful, beautiful location looking out into the Bay of Honduras there. You can actually see Roatan across the way from where they're at this new development. It is gorgeous.
So it's outside of La Ceiba, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, folks, which is wonderful, because La Ceiba is one of the three major cities in Honduras. Okay, matter of fact, La Ceiba is what they call the Honduras has three big cities: Tegucigalpa, the capital, which they call the political capital; San Pedro Sula, their industrial capital; and La Ceiba is their tourism capital. And it's a gorgeous city. The first home I ever bought in Honduras was right outside of La Ceiba, and so I'm thrilled to hear this is where the new development is, because, folks, you're going to love La Ceiba. It's a wonderful town. It's quaint, and yet the mall. Have you ever been to the mall in La Ceiba?
I have not, but I have heard so much about all of the available expat community items there. So yeah. I'm excited to be able to get down there.
Yeah, the mall is just beautiful and modern. And when I lived there for about a year, I spent almost every day at the mall there because I enjoyed it so much. And as a matter of fact, there are several very nice malls, beautiful downtown park in La Ceiba. So I'm glad that's the location, and right on the beach, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is a beachfront community.
Yep, beachfront community.
And what's the name of it?
It's called Gran Atlantita.
Gran Atlantita. Gran Atlantita, which I think is the state in which it is. The Honduras has states like we do in the U.S., and I think it is in the state of Atlantita. My Spanish is, as usual, horrible.
Yeah, so is mine. We're matching there right now.
But that's where it is. And it is so tell us something about it. It's a cozy home community, right?
Mm-hmm. The section we're getting ready to launch is cozy homes. They are looking at some other projects down the line that are going to be larger homes, but right now it's the cozy home launches, and yeah, they're great price points, great models. It's a great option.
It is a great option. I love to do this. This is so amateurish. I just can't help myself. This is there we go. There is a picture, artist rendering of the community, what it's going to look like. And folks, first let me say, it is a real community. This is not just something where there are a couple of homes that are sticking out on the beach here and you can go live in one of them. This is going to be a real community. What'd you tell us earlier? A store,
yeah. They're creating a marketplace center that's going to have options for rentals. So if you also are one of those people that you decide, you know what, I'm done with what I'm doing. I want to do something different. I want to get out of this, but you still need rent. You still need income coming in. You still need a business coming in. There's actually going to be rental space also for businesses in this marketplace section. There's also a stage where we can have live music. There's pool. There's a community feel to it for sure. And there's a community marketplace that's available within that section too.
A lot. So it is really a gated community, a beautiful community, live stage for music. So you can have Ricky Ricardo playing La Bamba. And half our audience out there is saying, what's a Ricky Ricardo?
You just showed your age right there, Carib.
I really showed my age. So right now they're just starting. And so folks, this is important to you. This is really important to you. Remember, the prices south of the border are going to rise. I say this every week, and it's very, very important to you. The time you want to get on an investment, some of you realize being the president of the Offshore Club is not what I do for a living. What I do for a living is I work with investment advisors, okay? And they're saying now, get in early, especially in these Central American countries, they're going to boom. There is an out-migration from the U.S., and that's where they're going. Look, people move to the beach. And the whole damn place is a beach. And so get in now. And right now on these cozy homes, you can get in, give them the price. And folks, write this down because I don't want you to misunderstand. It's so low. You may say, oh, they left off a figure. How much?
Yeah, they start, the cozy homes are starting at $79,900 plus closing and furniture. I do not know anything else you can get in pre-build anywhere in Central America or anywhere in the States for $79,900 for the type of quality you're getting when it's this solar and you've got the ability to be the joint electricity. I mean, yeah, solar in and of itself is going crazy. Building is going crazy. I mean, the expansion, the price increases. I mean, we've seen it in the state. You guys are seeing it in the States all the time, and we're seeing it here too. The increase in price of product and materials is going up and up and up and up and up, and that's going to create an increase in home costs too, just like you're saying. And it's going to magnifold for sure, even with the growth of the developments and the new opportunities south of the border, with the increase of people wanting to move down here, but also the material costs going up. This is, it really is. It's a short window.
It's a short window. So this is a pre-construction price, folks. $79,900, okay? $79,900 for your own beachfront home, beautiful beachfront home, beautifully constructed. When ECI Development builds something, they build it right. They build it beautifully, they build it solid, and they build it in places where you want to live. And that's exactly what is it. Say that word again.
Grand Atlantina. Well, and really, Carter, I think you hit it right in the head. It's not, we're not just building a home either. We're building a community, and we're creating this venture to build a community for people where they have a community to be part of. So I think that's a huge piece of it,
That's a huge piece of it. And I want to point out now, when we talk about a cozy home, some people call them a tiny home. I don't call them that because it makes me feel like a damn Lilliputian. They're cozy homes. And keep something in mind. They're 700 to 800 square feet, right? Something around. You
normally include the indoor and the outdoor living spaces. So it depends on what you're really looking at, but yeah.
Yeah, so just the indoor, 600 to 700 square feet. But keep in mind, folks, you don't live indoors when you live in the Caribbean. The real square footage, the living square footage on one of these cozy homes is 1,400 to 1,500 square feet. Okay, when you get the veranda, the rooftop, everything about it. Because, it's a funny thing. I've told Alyssa this before. When I bought my home in El Pino, Vista Bonita in Honduras, and I would see people with living room furniture out on their veranda. And I would say, you better get that inside, before the bad weather hits. And they would say, there is no bad weather.
Your bad weather is the daily rainstorm you get for 15 minutes.
Exactly. That's the bad weather. So folks, it's really the real living space here is 1,400 to 1,500 square feet, and you're going to love it. And plus you're going to walk to the beach, everything you've wanted. But I want to again emphasize, because it's very important. These are the pre-construction prices, folks. I'm telling you right now that within a year, that home is going to go up, I would say 10,000 at least. Okay. Just by, as Elisa said, just the cost of materials alone, this government, this country is jacking the price of everything through the ceiling. And that's not going to stop that inflation. Please do yourself a favor. Do not believe this administration or the Fed when they say, well, it's just a little inflation blip. The hell it is. This inflation is going to be double-digit inflation for a long time. Everything is going up. So get in now, and you've made an investment. And here's two things to keep in mind. When you invest, there are two ways to make money on real estate. There's asset appreciation and there's cash flow. With these homes, Elisa, you get both, right?
Yep. You can put them in the rent. I mean, you can choose one of two options. Either you can choose to be a resident of the home and to live there, or you can choose to put them in a rental market, and then they're going to create the ongoing cash flow that you want. And I will say, I think honestly, Carter, you're being gracious in saying within the year they'll go up by 10,000. I would think maybe even within the next 6 months.
Incredible. Which, folks, it's great for you if you get in now. Just get in now as an investment. Just do it. It's a perfect investment. The random walk on Wall Street is 10%. You're going to make more than that in the first 6 months on these. It's fantastic. So this is a great opportunity, and here's where you can hear more about it. And when is the Grand Atlantic? Isn't that
Grand Atlantic?
It's like I'm not buying. I couldn't pronounce the name of somebody. So where do you live, Carter? I'd say, yeah.
Just think of Atlantis. That's what I've been thinking of. Maybe that's not a good connection, but I think of Atlantis. That's how I can get the Atlantida.
Thank you, Atlantida. And where can they hear more about it? Next week, as a matter of fact.
Yep. Next week, we're going to have a webinar talking all about it. We are launching the community next Tuesday. So please be a part of the webinar, learn about what's happening. It's a really small first phase. So we would hate for you to miss out, which is why, Carter and I jumped on this right away to say we need to talk about this because it's a really short window of time.
And they can go to ecidevelopment.com for the webinar next, let me see, June 8th at 5 p.m. Is that where they go to watch the webinar?
Keep an eye out on your email. We'll be sending out some information with the webinar signups, and you need to click the yes button.
Yes, click the yes button. Click the yes button all the way around to watch the webinar, and then to grab one of these homes early, and for the maximum value. Okay. Mm-hmm. So Elisa, expat mom, thank you. She is one of my favorite people, by the way, from day one. Sometimes you meet somebody and say, I just like that person. And that's how I've always have from day one. So thank you.
I like you too,
thank you for joining us. It's been excellent once again. I enjoyed it. And thank you for putting it together and letting everybody know about it. Great deal, folks. Take advantage of it. And I'll talk to you. Mas tardi. That I got right? Mas tardi means later.
Mas tardi. Yeah.
Thanks, Elisa.
Bye, everyone.
Go ahead. What a delightful person. Just one of my favorite people. Make sure every Tuesday at noon at offshore.club, tune in for Alyssa's podcast, which is outstanding. The Expat Mom. If you're a parent, if you're a grandparent, it'll help you understand the opportunities for children, for young children in the Caribbean. And now, folks, I have what to me is a very, very special moment on Coffee with Carib Carter. I mean, a very special moment because it's very near and dear to my heart, what we're about to talk about. Okay. I referenced it at the beginning of the show. I promised you this interview was coming, and I'm going to guarantee you something. By the time this interview is over, you're going to say to yourself, you know what? I feel like a better person, even for just having watched that interview, and I want to do my part to help out. Okay? And you can do your part to help out by drinking coffee. Just that simple. And now we're going to tell you how, because let me introduce my very, very special guest, my new friends, Colin and Becca Puffington.
Hey, guys.
Hey, folks. There they are. In Honduras, folks. In Tele.
Yep, right here in Honduras.
You're in Honduras. And these are two of the finest people you're ever going to meet, folks. Because not only are they obviously a lovely couple, but they have, they're part of a charity that is, the Bible tells us, Jesus said, do unto the least of these as you would do unto me. And these two people are doing it. Okay. And we're going to talk about what they're doing in just a second. First, I want to start out talking about life in Honduras a little bit, because I keep telling people, make your move to Honduras. As I say over and over, I own 2 homes in Honduras. Okay. One in a small community whose name I have no idea what it is, because my wife bought it and she never told me the name, but I'm sure she told me the name right. But the other beachfront in La Ceiba. But it's a wonderful. I lived there for a year. Actually, I live not too far from Tella, where you guys are now.
Mm-hmm.
A little community called El Pino. So, first, tell us where you're from and what took you to Honduras and what you found there. A little bit about that. Then we're going to go into the real point of the interview. Okay.
I'll let Becca start because she's been here longer than I have.
Alrighty, so what kind of started it was that my sister and her husband had done foster care in the United States, and they had a full house of about 8 children, and some of the children were reintegrated with their family, and their oldest son said to them, "Mom and Dad, what are we going to do? Our house is so empty." And they had joked, they said, "We're going to move to Latin America and we're going to start an orphanage." And he just kept asking and asking, like, "When are we going, Mom and Dad? When are we going?" So they decided to come and visit Honduras, and actually they visited an orphanage in La Ceiba. And they just felt called to move here and work with orphan and vulnerable children. And that's where they spent their first year and a half in La Ceiba working with an orphanage. And then they were actually on their way out of the country to renew their residency and passed through where we live now, which is Santa Rosa de Copan. And they just felt this calling. They woke up one day and it was just like the sun literally came up over the mountain, and they were like, "We feel like God wants us to be here." And sure enough, that was an underserved region for orphan and vulnerable children. There was just not enough places to keep children in a safe and loving family. And that's kind of when they decided to make this change from institutional care to family-based care. So that is more of what you would think of as foster care as opposed to an orphanage. And that's what we are doing today. We have 4 different programs that serve orphan and vulnerable children, and each one is family-based. So we work really hard to maintain that family dynamic, because if you look into child psychology and things like that, it is imperative for child development, and it will follow them from infancy until their adult years. So
And you started visiting when they were in Ceiba.
Yeah, so I started visiting when they were in Ceiba, and I have been visiting on and off, and I would serve alongside them, usually for 6 months to a year stint. Until I moved home and we met, and I was like, "I just want you to know, like, I feel God calling me back to Honduras, and I don't want to force you into my calling on what God has on my life." And he was pretty confident that God was going to change my heart.
I was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll see."
But in reality, God changed his heart, and we had come down to visit my sister and my nieces and nephews, and he just kind of fell in love with the culture and the people and the work that we're doing here with orphan and vulnerable children.
It's just simply remarkable, folks. You were looking at 2 people who are giving their lives to help little orphan children in Honduras. And it just touches my heart, obviously, because my wife is Honduran. And let me tell you something. You cannot, none of us in this country, and it does touch me very deeply, can imagine the suffering of the children of Honduras. Okay? You can't begin to imagine. I've shared this with you before. My wife was raised in abject poverty. Her home looked like a chicken coop, falling down chicken coop when they had a home.
Yeah.
At some point in her life, they lived under a tattered beach umbrella. They had no running water. They went down to the river to wash, to get water to drink. And she said it tasted, she had no education. She had nothing. The poverty of these little children, it would break your heart. And
and I think that's where a lot of what's happening is that people who are living in those types of conditions are actually abandoning their children. They're abandoning babies just because they simply don't have the means to care for them. And we are a family, a foster family, a familia de protección temporal, which is a temporary family. And our foster son, he was abandoned at birth, and we are caring for him. And our foundation sees a lot of that from the mountain regions that kind of surround our town of Santa Rosa.
I'm going to butcher the stats here, but I'm pretty sure it's like 25% of Honduras children are abandoned or orphaned and vulnerable children. And I think 60 to 70% is below the poverty line of people in general. And we just had 2 hurricanes come through the region of Honduras, and what the unemployment's like 78% right now.
Yeah. But so I don't know if we've really seen a drastic increase in the children that we've cared for, but there's definitely been a slight incline of children coming through our different programs that we have. But also, I think there's been a really great reintegration rate, which is when children are able to go back to someone in their birth family, whether that was their mom or their dad, or they look for an aunt or an uncle or somebody who is related to them and is able to care for them here in their culture.
And folks, these children, I want you to understand how important it is what Colin and Becca are doing. These children have nothing. They have no food, they have no clothing, they have no education, unless people like Colin and Becca step in to help. And you, and right now, and folks, let me just say, because I've lived there, when you see the smiles on these little children's faces, despite their suffering, it's heartrending. It's heartrending the way they try to smile through. Well, you know what? You can help them with that smile. And that's why right now, this is right here, the official coffee of the Offshore Club now, okay? This is the Legacy of Hope coffee. And this is the way you can help. You can do yourself a favor, getting some delicious coffee. I know the reason I have it is I drink it. And at the same time, you can help these children through the Legacy of Hope Foundation. So tell us about that. Colin and Becca, tell us about why they need to order this coffee now and keep ordering it, because every sip you take is helping a child in Honduras.
Well, we'll start with the name. The name of our foundation, Legacy of Hope, we derive it from that it's our goal to shape legacies by affecting one child. We're affecting generations they're breaking the generational norms. So we're trying to give a hope to future generations by leaving a legacy, by showing children what a family is, what a love of a family is, and just to break norms of what Honduran culture is at times. And beyond that, 100% of every sale goes right into our orphan care programs. And like Becca said, that's our crisis care, our transitional care, our foster program, and our family preservation program. And so, I mean, it's just everything, every drop that you brew into your coffee cup goes straight to our mission programs. And it's a great cup of coffee. I mean, I didn't drink coffee until I came to Honduras. And so
it's just the difference is incredible, I think, when it's grown right here and we roasted fresh. One of the other things that I love to note about our coffee that really just warms my heart is that actually the finca or the farm that we work with, the owner came to visit our foundation, and we gave him a tour, and he said, I absolutely love what you're doing. This is incredible. The way that you are operating your programs to the highest level of standard is something that I've never seen before, and our children deserve this. And I want to help you help them. So that was really beautiful to me to see somebody living here in Honduras saying, yes, like this is what we want. We want our children to have this level of care, and you guys are knocking it out of the park. So that was really beautiful to be able to form that relationship with him and continue to grow that relationship here within the communities that we serve.
It's remarkable. To give people a really good idea of what you're doing and how the lives it's reaching and changing, Brian, can you roll the video, the short video about Legacy of Hope Foundation that Colin and Becca were kind enough to send? Then we'll come back just for a few more minutes with Colin and Becca.
Consider it rolled. I'll stick it in there. Go ahead.
Wow. So folks, there you can see for yourself. These two people are part of an organization. Let me just say, sometimes there are organizations out there that you give to and you later find out, geez, the money didn't quite go where I'd hoped. This is one case where the money is going where you hope. You really are fulfilling the biblical adage, do it unto the least of these. Thanks to Colin and Becca. You know them now. You know them. You know the people that you're working with to help these little children. So, guys, I want to thank you so much for what you're doing. From the bottom of my heart, because I know, because my wife came from that, the suffering of these little children, and you are easing that suffering. Camus, the philosopher, wrote, perhaps we can't prevent this from being a world in which children are tortured, but we can reduce the number of tortured children. And if you won't help, who will? And you are. So thank you.
Well, we appreciate that. We're happy to do it.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, folks. So that's the other side of it. Ring that bell to maintain your independence, and don't ring that bell to maintain your independence. Either way, I want you to control that bell in your life, okay? That's what I want for you. And that you can do with your offshore move to the good life at a great price. Reassert your independence. Reassert your control of your own life. Reassert every dream you've ever had. And now, at last, say, it's mine, it's my bell, it's my life, and I'm going to dream of things as they could be and say, why not? All right. So let's do this thing. And I'll see you next week.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us at the Offshore Club. For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Carib Carter, visit www.offshore.club today. www.offshore.club. That's www.offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club. For more information on the Offshore Club or to contact Carib Carter, visit offshore.club today. Offshore.club. That's offshore.club. See you next time at the Offshore Club.